I have been off the air for a long time. So welcome back to Digging In, a show where I make someone dinner and we talk about things. My guest is Kelly, awesome human being, and we're gonna talk about things. Let's dig in.
There are two types of people in this world. People that bite ice cream and people that don't. And the people that bite ice cream hurt me inside.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
because I'm one of those people.
I had mentioned to you already that I want to do trailers, fake romantic comedy trailers.
Yes.
And this is something that I've wanted to do for a while.
I know. We've been talking about this since August.
Yeah, it's...
No, actually July.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
This is, since July, I've been wanting to work on this since last year.
Yeah.
And I'm the XYZ reasons, it didn't come through.
Because I was really excited for the one that you talked to me about.
It's still a thing.
We should really mention what it is at this point.
Yeah, basically, it's a fake romantic comedy trailer for a movie, and the main difference or premise of it is that the couple is LGBTQ is placed in the LGBTQ plus spectrum.
Yep.
Exactly. So it's not necessarily always going to be two girls. It could be two guys. It can be somebody that's transgender and another person. It can be somebody that's androgynous and another person. It just they fall onto this scale. It can be, it's not focused on the fact that they're gay or whatever. Yeah. It's the fact that
they're in love.
They're in love. Yeah. And I want to hit all the stereotypical things that everyone wants to happen. Mm-hmm. So this first one that I wrote was it's a coffee shop one. So it's just two students that meet in a coffee shop on their break, and they fall in love that way. Mm-hmm. And that genuine just sitting next to somebody at a coffee shop because there's no other spot and striking up a conversation with them. Simple as that. And then it's not necessarily, this one I wrote it in a very artsy way, so there's not much dialogue, it's a lot more music, but it's...
The artsiness. Oh. I love that you recognize that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're like, this is gonna be artsy as hell.
Oh yeah.
No regrets. Yeah.
I have a scene that if it were to work out in that way, I'd have one of the characters go up to the window and fog it up and then draw a heart on it, that kind of artsy kind of thing.
Which isn't hard shot to do.
It isn't, but depending on what where your coffee shop is and how you can, because the coffee shop I would like to go to is a little bit more cramped, so it's a little harder to play, and the window's a little high up, so they'd more be like, and then try to...
I think for that shot, I would almost fake it and go to a different coffee shop that has really good windows. You don't need to be in the same coffee shop.
That's very true.
That would just be my thoughts.
That's why I talked to you, is because you get this.
Yeah.
And have this brain for it. So why I wanted to bring it up is because next year I want that to be my focus of production, is to focus on that. I can have extra things that I can film myself, but that is the main thing that I will block. In essence, what my goal is to get one trailer a month. So
Google.
I film one, have the rest of the month to edit it, and write the next one. Mm-hmm. So if I right now have one written, I can get more written and ready so that I don't have to sit and write one during that time. Mm-hmm. But I'd like to get that. So in the end, I'd have 12 months. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. So,
my God, there's 12 months? Who would have guessed?
Wow.
Shocking.
But yeah, so I want to get that and have more of a foundation for that. Yeah. The thing about love, which is what I discovered through reading Shakespeare, and which is when my teacher dropped this bomb on me, I was my mind was blown writing wise, and for my love of Shakespeare, that was already there, but I grew to love it even more. Was his stories are not based in storylines, but are based in emotion. Mm-hmm. So Othello is jealousy, Romeo and Juliet is undying, unwavering love.
Or lust,
lust too, yes.
Because really, it's 2 weeks.
Yeah, but
that's not love.
You see what I mean, though?
Yeah, I know.
And so they each have that marker that you can boil it down to one, or two maybe. And so I want to kind of go into, okay, this is the one I want to play with. Mm-hmm. Now you're gonna see the same one through 12 arrays of story, but it's going to be stories that everyone wishes to see.
I'm assuming you're an English nerd.
I am. I want to say a secret English nerd, but why I'm hesitant to say secret English nerd is because I am a theater kid.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, being a theater kid, you do have that language, that love of language
Mm-hmm.
and story. So for writing, where that comes into play, and with Shakespeare, is I like breaking down a text.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you know those projects in school where you had like a poem or a short story and had to find like a simile, a metaphor, imagery,
Yeah.
this,
like,
this,
honestly,
this.
like, what does this mean? Or like, I remember doing that for Great Gatsby, which is one of my favorite books. But still, like, when it's like, oh, this color means this, it's like, okay, we'll go with that.
Hold on.
That big eyes, yeah, that symbolizes just like the staring of something. I don't remember.
Exactly.
It's
So
not my favorite thing in life. But yeah.
I was always,
Mm-hmm.
I was definitely the kid going, you know, it could just be black curtains. Like,
Yeah.
he could have just picked black curtains. Like, he doesn't.
I think that's usually what happens more often than like he's putting this much significance on color.
Exactly.
But
And me too.
yeah.
I totally agree with that. But when it is more poetry and more Shakespeare, because Shakespeare like invented a language.
Yeah.
So
It's like reading Tolkien, where
yeah, it's this whole
you
like
see there's like way more thought because like there had to be, because otherwise like you just couldn't get to like where you're going.
exactly.
Yeah.
So breaking that down,
Mm-hmm.
when I was in a Shakespeare show as a Shakespeare fool, a Shakespeare fool in King Lear.
Yeah.
Being a fool in a Shakespeare show in and of itself is that much more impactful or difficult to swallow, because the fool is also meant as the guiding point to explain what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And it's also the fool that usually speaks the truth
Mm-hmm.
amongst the other characters that are based in those emotions in that
Yeah.
whole storyline, and then the fool is just like, you mean this, right? So I had to go through my text and find not only what the meaning of what I'm saying, but the actual meaning of why I'm saying it.
Yeah.
And that is what I really love to do, is
Deeper analysis, yeah.
break it out and go, okay, this means this means this word is for this imagery that refers to this part in the show, and
Yeah.
this, like, that I love. In a Hamilton song, a Broadway show,
Yeah.
Hamilton, there's a place at one point where they're writing letters. He's writing a letter to this
Yeah.
girl named Angelica. And there's something, like, she talks about there's something being at the end of the letter. Did you intend this? And says, you left a comma in the middle of a phrase. In the middle of a phrase. Did you intend this? One stroke and you consume my waking days. So basically what he wrote is, my dearest Angelica, with a comma after dearest. So it says, my dearest Angelica. Like, that break
Yeah.
is flirting, because he's calling her my dearest, not my dearest Angelica as a general formal thing you write at the beginning of a letter.
Yeah.
And so she comments on it, and she goes, hey, I noticed this, I broke this down. Like, in today's world, it's like, he liked my picture on Facebook. But then when you're writing letters and you only get a letter every once a month, you're looking at this letter and analyzing every single point of punctuation. That, I still think about that line and get goosebumps, because I find it
That's a really good
so
line.
great. Category of, like, please don't die.
I won't die.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, I will die at some point, but not today.
We're not talking about
Not tomorrow.
mortality. This podcast is going to take a real dip if we go down that road. This time last year, I wasn't walking. And I wasn't walking for about 4 or 5 months. Now, this was due to anxiety stuff and anxiety conversion. Basically, body makes false pain that I feel is actual real pain to cope with the fact that I'm overstressed, and it physically gets me to stop doing everything because I need to chill. And when that first happened, there was that genuine fear of, I won't be able to do what I want to do anymore.
Yeah.
I'm 21 at this point. When that first happened, I was 21, and I go, I'm 21 years old. I haven't even started my career in what I want to do, and it's over already. Because in my head, I wasn't able. You can't play Shakespeare in crutches, like, unless it's a very specific Shakespeare style. It's not practical to have a fool or to have a king in crutches. there was one night where my best friend came over and I just cried with her because of this thought. And then when I came back from it, it was like, okay, no, you're good. And then it happened again, and it was like, okay, now it's not something that will permanently be here as I'm not walking, period, but I may stop walking at times if I'm not careful. Yeah. So regardless of that, I die. But when I can't do what I want to do because I'm mentally there but not physically there, that is what I don't like about the mortality side of getting older, of life.
That is very well put.
And a very funny other comparison side of that is my being gay and working at this Halloween store. We had a bunch of baby costumes, which are the cutest things on the planet. I like children a lot.
Yeah.
I would want possibly children in my future. When I was with parents, obviously I don't give them my life story and stuff, but...
Well, you don't just like sit down with them and be like, well...
Listen up.
Here's 22 years of life right here.
Yeah, okay.
Because you don't understand life.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let a young whippersnapper tell you all about life.
Yeah, let me tell you what the real things are. No, but they would say something along the lines of, when you have kids, you'll know, and then or something like, well, how old are you? Yeah. Usually these were older people that were like that, that said this, like, how old are you? I'm 22. Well, soon when you have kids, like that adds soon. Oh. And I'm like, ooh. When you have kids, you'll see how you'll be able to buy these costumes. And my normal reply with, it's a little more complicated for me to have kids. Not in the fact of I'm unable to have kids, because I am able to. Yeah. But it's the fact that being gay, I cannot accidentally get pregnant. Not gonna happen.
I find out how parents, like when they have young kids, like whenever they see someone like that's 20-ish, it's like, oh, like you'll see soon. It's like, what if I don't want kids or something like that?
Yeah. I have a friend that doesn't want kids. Like, just not
straight up. Yeah.
She just doesn't want kids. She's not a fan of them. She kind of likes them once they hit 10. Yeah. Once they become their own human and start being able to express their own self, because you can be your own human at 5. But once you're able to express it and know what you're expressing, that's when she gets interesting and human. So if anything, she'd adapt. She'd adapt
to adopting?
She'd adopt a teenager, like something like that. But is when you say, I don't want kids. Oh, it's oh, you will.
Oh, I hate that line.
Like,
I
you don't know. Yeah. You can't. I may not want kids ever. And it's not you to tell me that I do.
Yeah. It's just because like that's like the normal thing, and like you've done the normal thing doesn't mean that like that's necessarily good for everyone.
So to drift topic from, because I had mentioned it briefly, I was dressed as Ellen yesterday. Yes. Now, I do drag.
Yeah, because you're right now a drag king.
I am a drag king.
Wait, but you dressed up as Ellen?
See, that's where I was going to explain it. So,
yeah, okay. So I just clicked in my mind when you said that the second time. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So I'm part of this competition class kind of thing. Yeah. It started in mid-September. It started because I had just gotten my job when I found out that I got in. So yeah, it was like mid-September. There was an audition for this, and basically from every Wednesday night, 10:30, Cabaret Meadow, if you want to come see. Slight plug.
Please plug away if you'd like.
There's something called Drag Moi. And Drag Moi is from the first class to the last class, which is December 13th. Every week we have a theme and we have a challenge. And we have to build a number for a show. And every week after a number, we get comments on our makeup, on our hair, on our performance, and we get graded. We get points and stuff. So there is a winner in the end, but there's no elimination factor. So everyone is learning to grow and become a better drag performer. I am the first drag king to compete in this competition. Drag names are the greatest names. Like, it takes work to find a name.
Of course.
If you want to go down the pun route.
Yeah.
So
have you gone down that pun route?
Yes, I have. Okay. Mine is very specific to my character style, not a play on words of another person. It's made up. My name is Will Charmer.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it's Will I Charmer because my middle name is Isaac.
huh?
So so when you write it out, it would be Will I Charmer.
Yeah.
And so instead of it being a play like Nat King Cole, Justin Timberlake, it's
a play on a phrase.
It's a play on a phrase.
Yeah.
And it gives you who I'm going to be, like a little bit of the essence of what I am.
Yeah.
I'm not someone that needs recognition to feel proud of something.
Yeah.
Like
you don't need the external validation.
That's it. Validation was the word I was looking for. I don't need external validation, but when you do get it,
It's
especially
nice.
for something that you really worked hard on, it really makes you feel good, right?
Yeah.
Like with these kinds of projects with YouTube and stuff, you make videos. If you make videos every week, and we actually talked about that at the last YouTube event that we had here, was there are most of the time the video that you're most proud of is your statistically weakest video.
Yeah.
And it's crazy as to why, but it's a thing that happens.
It's because I think there's emotional value that you have in certain projects, and you love that project because you have this very deep emotional attachment to it.
Exactly.
And it's just people don't have that deep emotional attachment, so they don't see that. That's the thing.
That's
because there's a difference between watching a good piece of content and then producing a good piece of content. They're two different things.
Yes.
And
yes.
being proud of the process is that's its own thing.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to put a huge disclaimer on this next comment, okay? Saying there's, of course, a level of awfulness of something that is done that should be exposed regardless. And the fact that it isn't exposed sooner is awful and needs to change and needs to be something that gets caught at, if not the next day, within the same day that it happens, that kind of thing. But with media and how life is with internet and stuff these days, I also am kind of I miss the fact that you can have a separate life, or not a separate life, but not everything is able to be seen, in the sense of, if I have a nerdy quality of me that I like to sit and read Shakespeare and do that, or if I'm an artist at home, no one needs to know about this. No one needs to know. But now with everything else, they're gonna find out. In some way, shape, or form, nothing is hidden anymore. So that's why I say, with the disclaimer of there are certain things that should not be hidden.
Yeah.
Absolutely should not be hidden. But there are other things that I wish still could be hidden. In the sense of having that choice to put something in public and not. There's almost no choice anymore. It's either public or no one knows about it.
This is where I wonder if it's the fact that we can't have private things, or is it the line of work that we have?
Well, the fact that we choose the line of work that we have, it doesn't benefit us in the sense of we can't have that step away.
It's just much harder.
It's much, much harder, yes. YouTubers, I find, either are terrible at keeping things private or very good at keeping the right things private.
Yeah.
And us having having chosen this place of having this conversation on podcasts, on video, and choosing to share these qualities, these opinions, and these things about our life, make it so that if we pull away, people think something's wrong. Also, imagine if you're a daily vlogger and you post about. It not only is showing something significant, not showing something is significant. If you're showing every day the fact that you have a dog, and then one day you stop showing the dog, not the fact that you reference the dog, you hear the dog, but you stop showing the dog, something is different about the dog. It is a direct choice that you've made to stop putting the dog in the video.
Yes. At the same time, to dissect it, it's the idea. We choose to show what we want to.
Yeah.
And you always have that power, whether we feel responsibility to our audience, because we do always want to entertain and all that stuff. And that's where it gets really muddy, where it's I want to entertain, so And like everyone's on this right now, like authenticity binge, where like you need to be authentic as fuck, because if you're not, everyone sees through it, because like of course they're gonna see through it.
Yeah.
But we then like think that it's good to open up to every aspect because that's authentic, but it's like that's not necessarily the good thing for like us as creators and all that stuff.
Let alone as creators, us as human beings.
Yes.
You don't necessarily want this entire, unless you've made that choice, you don't want everyone to know about certain things.
It's also like that's where, because like I used to daily vlog, and then like when I pulled back from it, it was just like a conscious choice. Like thankfully, like not many people, like some people got really concerned, which was like okay, but otherwise it was just like okay, that's just like a different chapter in my life, and that's fine. Like it just it's but
an adaptation of this expression. Yeah.
And then it changes and it forms, and this is where like it's just like we're in a completely different era where it's just the fact that like it's all instant and it's constant.
Yes.
That's what makes it difficult to navigate it all.
And what I've noticed is a lot of pressure that people feel when wanting to start a YouTube video or YouTube channel, and was something that I felt I needed to rise to before even starting, was a quality standard. You had to have a certain standard of quality of sound, visual, whatever, to post something, which is where people don't make an update video, is because it's usually would be on their phone for like no cuts, no anything, no lighting, just listen up. I'm sick. I'll be back when I'm feeling better. Bye. Like that's it. And I've done that. I've literally taken my phone, made an update video, been like, hey, listen, shit went awry. I'll be back soon.
Yeah.
I've done things where in the video that I've edited, been like, recently I did it was a 3-part thing of going, you're gonna see 3 different videos. I'm gonna be in this position with this crappy lighting, with this crappy sound, in this sweater for these 3 parts, because I would rather you see these things than me put in the effort to put the quality that you regularly have.
Yeah.
I would like to express this creative, it was my videos from drag, so I was like, here are the 3 videos that I'm missing that I know you're expecting to see.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch me talk, you want to watch these videos. So ignore this and just here are your 3.
Yeah.
And I just did that.
Work mode can be 24/7 if you make it, and that's a scary thought.
That is a scary thought. That's what I don't want happening, because that's not good.
I know, it's just like, that's how, like, again, that's setting like hard parameters on like what you let in and what you don't.
Yeah.
Clearly when I was talking about how, you know, I have really hard breaks.
Yeah.
Like, it's for that exact reason, because like there has to be like that little chunk of time where like you can actually do stuff. Like, it's funny because like even in my business mode, like I use a task management software that like basically is like a giant to-do list, but like on steroids, and I can put everything on my mind there. Okay. And like I can do like recurring tasks and stuff like that. It's really nice. And one of them is like to actually go through every single day and message everyone that I'm friends on Facebook with, hi birthday, whose birthday it is.
Oh.
And that's also like how I make decisions like, hey, am I actually friends with this person? Because if I can't send them a hi birthday, that means I'm not actually friends with them.
Yes.
So I unfriend them.
Yes. Right. Okay.
But it's like, that's like the small checks I have.
Yeah.
And then like with certain friends, I have then another task that's like, hey, like message this person like once a week, just to check in.
Just to check in.
Because I know like I had this comment before and I've lost friends because I would only message people when like things are going really bad, because when things are going really good, you forget about everything.
Yeah.
And like you're just like so head down in work that you just block out the world because you're so focused, and then you forget. Yeah. And then just like that weekly reminder, be like, oh hey, just check in. Like it's literally me just saying like, hey, what's up? Like that's it. And it's just like, and I've told my friends like, this is what I'm doing. Like this is why like I just always randomly message you like once a week type of deal. But it's that little thing where like you just remember it, because like the people.
It's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. You check in, they get to remember you, and you get to remember them, and it keeps people that are genuine in your life around, which is important.
So that's our show. This week we are produced and edited by me. Our theme song is by Ashmeta, and our logo is by Isabella Lee. Special thanks to our guest, Kelly. Check out their channel at Holtz's Hangouts. Definitely worth a watch. And thanks to our sponsor, Ether Kombucha. We love you. Till next week, have a good one.